Good day, people. So, today we are going to see about access specifiers and few programs in Java. But it shows here connected. Connected now. No issues if you have any trouble with your network. It's been recording in my system. I will upload after the session is completed today. Okay, no issues. So, access specifiers, also known as modifiers, provides access capabilities to the variables or functions inside the class. So, what it do, it specifies who can access the particular variable or functions. So, if the members inside the class is set as public, anyone can access inside the program. Anyone can access the members. Okay, if it is specified as private, no one can access outside the class. So there is another one called protected. Members cannot be accessed from outside the class, however they can be accessed in inherited classes, which means, say for an example, there are two classes, class A, class B. If the class B is inherited from the class A is a superclass and B is a subclass. So, if the variables or functions are defined as protected, means the inherited classes can access the protected variables or functions. So, this is the meaning for protected. It protects the data. It prevents the unauthorized access. It's a mixture of private and public. So, these access specifiers or modifiers are belongs to C++. In C, we will use public and private because there is no inheritance in C. In Java, there are more access specifiers. If possible, we will look into that too. So, access specifiers in Java, right? javat.com. You can access this website, so you can know what are there, right? So, private, protected, public, and there is another one called default. So, there is a term called default. You don't have to specify as default. It works just like private. Okay, it can be accessed only within the package, not outside the package, that's called default. So this is a table for who can access the relevant access specifier content. Okay. In public only everything will be yes. In protected, outside package cannot be accessed. In default, even the inheritance doesn't work, it just works like a private, but it can works within that package. In private, the access specifier private, right, for variable or function, only the class can access it, no one can access. Okay, so if you see n, right, a kind of diagonally, right, so everything will be n and everything will be s. So easy to memorize. Today we will look into few programs. So these programs eventually helps to learn more kind of keywords, built-in terms and about data types, basically tokens, right. So if you remember about tokens, right, hope you remember about tokens. Tokens are, or token is a smallest individual unit in a particular program. If a statement is broken into single words or single what do you call this? Separated as a single word, right? Single words. Okay. So single words, then it is said to be tokens. So today we are going to see about leap year, sum of numbers, Fibonacci series. So this is leap year. I will share these codes to you so you can look into later. If possible, no, okay, it's not possible. you should need to give your attendance through WhatsApp immediately. Okay, so type the register number only. I am already having your names, so just type your register number here. Okay, so I will keep it in my Excel sheet for future reference purpose. Okay, so I shared the 3 programs which are all discussed in this later session. Okay, right, this is the first program, leap year. Okay, this is header file, these two are header file. Import java.io.star, we are accessing each and every functions resides inside this subclass, and this is a class. Java is a class, IO is a subclass, util is a subclass in Java. We are accessing all the functions residing in these packages or subclasses. So we are declaring class name as class leap year, and we are declaring public void static void main string args of. Okay, this is important line. So this is the term to get the input from the user. So void main, we are all seen in C, right? I don't know how many of you people know about C language. So this is same as C. So this is access modifier. Okay, we are already discussed about this. So here this function is said to be act as public. So anyone can access this function, as well as it is a static one, so it's not going to change anything and it doesn't return any values, so it's specified as void. Okay, so we are declaring a variable called year. System.out.println, we are just printing the statement as enter a year. So here we are getting the value from the user. Scanner SC is a object, scanner is a keyword. Okay, inside the bracket we are putting system.in, which means we are getting input from the user. This is input from the user, and scanner we are accessing the content. We are getting the input from the user using the scanner's object and storing into year variable. So what is the condition to find whether the given year is leap year or not? Okay, this is the condition. These are all the conditions. Okay, leap year if perfectly divisible by 400, and not a leap year if divisible by 100. Okay, but not a leap year if divisible by 100, but not divisible by 400. Leap year if not divisible by 100 but divisible by 4. Okay, leap year if not divisible by 100 but divisible by 4. So then it's said to be leap year, and all other years are not leap years. Okay, this is the condition. These 3-4 lines are conditions. Leap year if perfectly divisible by 400, and not a leap year if divisible by 100 but not divisible by 400. Leap year if not divisible by 100 but divisible by 4. Okay, so this is if the year is divisible by 100, it's not a leap year. Okay, if divisible by 400, it's a leap year. If it's divisible by 4, perfectly divisible by 4, it's a leap year. Okay, what does the modulo function do? It provides the remainder. Okay, it provides the remainder. So before linking into this, I think we already discussed about the values, but still I will give you an example, right? Year percentage 2000. Okay, so we are closing it and we are printing it. System dot out dot println and we are printing the sum. Okay, so it's not leap year. Mod function. Okay, so we are copying this modfun and we are pasting it here, and we are declaring as a Java file and we are saving it. So now we are going to try modfun javac modfun.java. So there is some errors, cannot find symbol, so I think we need to comma sum equal to 0. Okay, so we are declaring and also initializing the variable name sum. Okay, so that's why it shows cannot find symbol, because we didn't declare. Okay, so this the error it will be shown if the variable is not declared at all. So another error, int, okay, print ln, okay, print ln, we forget to put print, okay. Now it shows year, okay. I think, okay, here it needs to be 2021, okay. So now we are again compiling it. We need to find what it tells, okay. If the error is occurs, we need to read it. Variable year might not have been initialized, okay. So there is no value inside the variable year. Now we are declaring a value to the year, okay. So now there is no error. So Java mod fun, so 21, okay, it provides the remainder, okay. So what it gives when we provide integer divisional, right, year divided by 2000. So this is called perfectly divided if there is no remainder value, okay, if there is no remainder. So we are again putting some another one, okay. We need to print another one. So I need to think, we need to put some spaces inside the two variables, between the two variables, right, between the two variables. So div, so we are saving it and we are compiling it. Now we are going to run it. 21 1, okay. So the remainder is 1. It gives remainder, okay, it gives remainder. The division symbol gives I think quotient, right, quotient, sorry, this gives quotient and this gives remainder, okay, remainder value. So this is said to be, if it gives 0, then it is said to be perfectly divided, okay. So now we are dividing and doing percentage for the same number, sorry, for the number 4000. We are compiling it and we are going to run it right now. 0 and 2, okay, there is no remainder and the quotient is 2, okay. This is the working methodology of modulo symbol or percentage symbol in Java, as well as C, as well as Java, each and everything is same, okay. So leap year. So I think we have already discussed about this one. These are the conditions we need to work it on. So Java C leap year dot Java. If there is no error, we can run it, okay. Java file name, so enter a year 2021, okay. So it's not going to be a leap year, so again we are running 2020 is a leap year, right. So this is the way to find the leap year. So the next one is sum of numbers. So sum of positive integers, okay. Here we are getting the input from the user, okay. After that we are adding the numbers, okay. So what it do is, if you give n as 100, okay, n as 100, so n equal to 100, then what it does is it starts from 1, then 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 2 100. So what it does if the n is 10. Okay, this is for 10. Now I hope you understand. So here sum equal to sum plus I is written as sum plus equal to I. This is shorthand assignment operator with addition. You can do for subtraction, division, multiplication, whatever maybe you can do that. This is shorthand assignment operator for addition. So as the same coding previously discussed, this also same, but here we are adding the natural positive numbers using a loop. Okay, so now we are saving this program and we are going to try it. Sum of numbers dot java. So to compile java c filename dot java, to run you need to type java file name. Okay, so I created a error here. Okay, I created a error. Actually I made this mistake originally. After that only I found I put C as caps in class. So it's actually showing 10 errors. Okay, 10 errors. So if a programmer who is a fresher might think C++ or Java is very tough, but that's not the case. It's very easy only. Lot of people misunderstanding what it really happening inside the program. Very few people understanding what's been happening over there. Other people are just being misguided. Okay, I will share this link to you. If possible, go and check it out in your free hours. So now we are going to run it. I think before that we need to change it as small one, and we are saving it right away. So Java C sum of numbers, and after that we will run it. Okay, so enter a positive number. We will put 10 and it sums 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. Okay, so by adding these 10 numbers, it founds that sum is 55. Okay, so what if it happens? Okay, what it happens if you give more than a lakh? Okay, we will run it again, and we will give 1,50,000. So it shows so many numbers with a negative impact. It shows a negative number. Okay, so the integer value, okay, it's not being working in a good way, because it has some rules to work it on. Okay, so we will reduce some numbers. So okay, now we can see this is positive only. Now we will check for 15,000. Still it's positive. So now we will again run it for a lakh. Still it's good only. Okay, so after the tossing only it shows a negative number. Okay, so the next one is wait a minute, sum of numbers. Okay, I think we closed it. Okay, the next one is Fibonacci series. So Fibonacci series means adding first two numbers. Okay, adding the first two numbers 1 and 2. After that, the resultant value have to be added with the second number. Then the fourth value will be created. Then third and fourth value needs to be added. So likewise it needs to work on. Okay, so if the first value is 0 and the next value is 1, so what it does is the third value will be 1, because we are adding 0 and 1, it will be 1. The next one is 2 and the next one is 3. 2 3 is 5. So 3 5 8. So 5 8 13. 13 8 21. This is called Fibonacci series. Okay, this is called Fibonacci series. So what I done is a little different from the old school Fibonacci series, because I created a difference in the coding part by getting the two numbers from the user side. So here we are getting a value and here we are getting another value, so which is stored in a of 0. The first value will be stored in a of 0 and the second value will be stored in a of 1. So inside the loop, okay, this is an array. Okay, inside the loop we are initializing I equal to 1 and I less than a dot length minus 1 plus I. Okay, we can use plus I or I plus whatever maybe, we can do it in either way. So this is called pre-increment. Okay, this is an array. So we are declaring A as an array with 25 as its capacity or length. Okay, so here we are getting the A's length and we are defining as minus 1. So I will tell why I put minus 1 over here before the end of the class. So inside the loop we are providing the sum value. Okay, a of I. The first value will be printed. Now a little confusion part is going to be started, because this is 0th value and this is 1 value. Okay, so this needs to be added and it needs to be stored in the third one. So if we take this as 0, because we started as 0, okay, so 0 and this is 1, okay, so the next one will be 2. Okay, so where we are is the increment operator, right? The increment operator, it works when the statement is executed. Okay, when it comes here, the I will become as a next number, So if we are compiling and executing this one, we can easily understand what I want to convey. Java Fibonacci Java. Okay, first number is 3 and the next one is 5. I think it gives some error. Okay, so the first number, okay, there is no printed value over here. So if I need to print it over here, I need to put I minus 1, because you can look into the it shows the second number, not the first number. Now I hope you understand what I want to convey to you. After the execution of this statement, I becomes 2. Here the value become a of 2. Okay, a of 2. So when you look into here, okay, when you look into here, you can see what has been happening. We need to move it to the next number. Okay, so we are storing the result in the next one. So what we are going to handle is the current one and the previous one. Now you can remember this. Okay, it becomes 1. So the fourth, the value is given as 1. Okay, so if this statement is executed, so what it happens is, this is like 2, that is the second one, equal to 0, 0th place and first place. Okay, if it goes to the next loop, it moves on. It becomes like this. Sorry. So it moves on. Okay, so if becomes 4 and it will become 2 plus 3. Okay, it moves on. So in this way this statement works. The current one, the previous one, the next one. The current one and the previous one is added and it's stored to the next one. Okay, so in this way it works and it shows this value. Okay, so check it out. If I give 0 and 1, okay, so 0, 1, 1, 2, so you can look at here, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. Okay, so it moves on till the a dot length minus 1. A dot length is 25, but we started as a of 0, so it shows some errors if we crossed 24 itself. Okay, so we can increase 1 over here to make it as 26, and we don't have to put it over here. I think it shows some error because the length is always 26, right? we increased the size 26, but still it moves on, right? So check it out whether what it tells if we change this one. Okay, Java C and then 0 and 1. Okay, there is some exception. So what it happens if we extend it? We are extending the array. So look what it shows. It shows same error. Okay, so this is not the problem. Problem resides over here, because it shows error at 22. Okay, 22, this is the 22th line, 22nd line, like 22nd line. So if we look into this line here, we are accessing the next one, right? We are accessing the next one over here. It is not possible because here it's 25, but here it goes to 26, so it won't work. So before it reaches, if it reaches 24, it needs to be shut down, so that the 25 will work over here. A of 25 will work over here. So for better understanding purpose, we will print the I value plus I. Okay, for better understanding, this line will helps you. 0 and 1. Okay, so now you can look 1 2 3 4 5 6 23. Okay, it not went up to 24 or 25. Okay, but here the value, right, we will print the same thing over here, so that we can look what would be the value at the last, because this, okay, after the completion, this is the executed value, the last value. So we are saving it and we are compiling it and run it and giving the same numbers. Now you can understand the last thing is 24. Okay, by the end of the loop it shows 24. Now I hope you can understand what it really happens inside the function, loop. So in this way you need to check it out. We need to create some errors. Without making some errors, you cannot know what it's been happening inside the program. We need to create some errors. Okay, remove the -1 -1 and check the error. Okay, so likewise, if you put some caps, it shows lot of errors, but actually the problem resides in the single character. Okay, so that's the way we need to think. So I hope I am understandable to you. If you have any doubts, you can ask me right now.